Hello, this is Amberly from Amberly Vibes, back here in nature again. I just wanted to go over some of the grid work that I do out in nature. So this is my grid that I made for the forest. This is the same one that I showed in one of my last videos, I think the crystal grid video, on some of the healing work that I do. This is the mountain that caught on fire from lightning. So there's burnt spots all around, so every time I come here I send some energy and some love, and I make my grid. I gather the highest vibrational stones that I can find around the area, and I make a pattern. This is just something I've done since I was a little kid. Nobody ever taught me this. I just have always done these things. And so I think there's a quartz here. We have some, I think that's chrysocolla growing. I see it all on the side of this mountain, and malachite, and some of these stones have some quartz mixed in. And I do sort of a prayer for healing, and I do take one piece from each area that I go on earth that I want to do some healing on, and I take it back to my home grid, my crystal grid at home, that I do my family healing. I guess it's a medicine wheel. I just call it my family grid. And so I send healing to all these places at least once a week, even at home. And so today, I don't know how much I can record outside. I'm going to try and get in some of the gratitude jar that we're going to do for Sunday. Sunday is my gratitude day, but it's so windy, I'm probably going to do most of the recording back at home. So I'll see you then. Bye-bye. Okay, so I'm back at home, and now I'm going to show you putting everything together in the jar. And I'm going to wait to show you what I did on my little vlog, because everything really is windy and wiggly, and so I'm going to make the phone stationary right now so that I can kind of focus on what I'm doing. And I've been working on my little work area here, so I need to untangle the light still in the background, but the videos are going to get better. I am working on it, so we'll get back to the jar, the gratitude jar. And so let me just put the phone over here. Let me just show you my little setup that I've been working on. So this is I like to do all of my work on the floor. I know that sounds so crazy and weird when I'm doing my typing and stuff, then I put the stool over here. But that way I can work on my crystal grids over here, my energy bowl, and I don't know, maybe I just feel more grounded when I'm working on the floor. So let me just turn the phone around. Okay, I have everything set up here, and what we're going to start with on the vlog I'm going to show after this, I will kind of go into the things that I collected from nature. I went out and to the forest, and I think that gratitude is really easy to tap into when you're in nature. I just feel so much more connected in nature. So I'll show you all the things that me and my daughter collected that we're going to add into our jar. And the vlog, like I said earlier, is so wiggly. I don't even think you could see the items that I'm working with. But I will also show it at the end, just mainly for my learning, so my growth, so that I can get better at this. And I'm kind of doing these videos as sort of a journal to capture my spiritual growth as well as helping others. And so it's kind of weird for me right now because I'm feeling like I'm having to backtrack from what I said earlier. So everything it's going to be a little choppy, but I'm just going to go with what I have here. And so I showed earlier, which is actually going to be later, you'll see that I cut up all these little bitty papers. And so what I was saying earlier was that you can grab things like some fancy paper, and this is one of my favorite tools ever. You just stick the paper in and slides a little cutter here, so you don't even have to measure. It has a little graph on it. And then you could cut little slices of paper, make little cards. So it's so handy, and you could put it in your bag and take it with you to the forest and travel with it. So it's just one of my favorite tools. I noticed when I look at my videos back, I say, this is one of my favorite crystals. This is one of my favorite tools, like all the time. But I guess what I'm showing you are my favorites. So, anyways, these are some little pieces that I had cut up so that you could write on the back and what you're grateful for. Every Sunday, you're going to stick that in your gratitude jar. And so this little jar has a fancy little cutout. I just got a little cricket, I don't know how to pronounce it. Cricut Joy is a little cutter for crafters like me, and it cuts little designs. You can create it on the website. I forget what it's called. I just forgot. Anyway, there's a little program that comes with it, like an app, and then you could create your design and cut it out. And so soon I'm going to be putting these on my Etsy. I just got the correct paper. This one's not permanent, but I just got a permanent one. And I'm going to make little designs for the jar, the lid, for all of my jar work. And most of my magical law of attraction workings are with a jar. With my charging my water, charging all of my intentions, my affirmations, because I'm such a visual person. I need that tangible, visual item or tool so that I can focus a lot more. And today we've had a ton of solar flares and CMEs, so I've noticed my brain gets a little rattled and supercharged, amplified when we're going through a lot of solar activity. So I'm trying my best to stay focused. And also, I was going to say, like, that when the sun is rising and the sun is setting, those two times are two of my favorite times of the day, because I feel like I'm kind of in a delta flow state. So a lot of the things that I write down, I don't even remember what the heck I write, like my affirmations and stuff, until I read it back later. And of course my handwriting is so sloppy that it's hard for me to reread it. So like the ones that I read for my daily affirmations, I'm like, where did this even come from? Because I was supposedly in a delta state when I wrote it. And so anyway, here is a way you could attach your tags. You can put them on the side of the jar after cutting them, and so you can cut a whole bunch of them and poke a hole, and so when you want to do your gratitude for the day, you just rip a piece off and then roll it up like this and put it in your jar. And as you fill the jar, it ends up looking really pretty. The things at the bottom are some of the things that I collected from the forest. I have some sap in there, and I go over it later. You'll see I put some different herbs and things, and some, I guess, some amber. And then so after you write your little gratitude, you put it in the jar. And you can, if you don't want to attach it to the side, you can keep it nice and neat in a little envelope. And then each Sunday you just pull it out and then write something you're grateful for to enhance the energy, and just place it underneath the jar. And I have all these little pieces here, or you can just throw your little pieces in the jar. So when it comes Sunday, you just take it out of the jar and then take it out and then write on it and roll it up and put it back in. And then let's move this. And then I use my organite plate, my charging plate that I charge all of my jar workings on, my water and everything. This one I like to use gold, these colors for the sun. We're going to go over the Sunday daily energies in a bit. So I talk about the colors and everything for the energies. And you want to put that on top. I have this little Flower of Life sticker I'm going to attach. I do correlate the Flower of Life with the sun because It is expansive. It has the energy of unity, the I am presence. So we'll just stick it on top. You can get these little stickers. I got mine on Amazon. I know that's a lot of people don't like to use Amazon. I'm at that point as well where I'm done with it, but I'm not going to get into that. It's just super convenient though. So soon we're not going to have to deal with all of this stuff, I believe. And maybe a little bit later in my videos I'll talk a little bit about that stuff. So then I put some organite on top, and this one just really supercharges, amplifies. You can put those intentions right into the universe. And I, of course, use my hands and my intention when I'm speaking gratitude to source energy, to the earth, to my family, whatever I'm really wanting to show my gratitude towards. So here are some more things that I put in is some bee pollen. And I have a little organite mixture here that I put in my organite that I use my gold colors with for the upper chakras, with brass and monatomic gold, all sorts of different things, selenite. We got some amber in there. It's a special blend. I have a lot of stuff in there. And then I have my honey, because I use honey a lot for the sun energies. I did a honey jar in my last video. And here's my medicine bag. So you can take out any of the things that you've collected recently that are in your medicine bag that you feel like will enhance the energy of the sun. So this one is my sun bag. And so I keep things in there that are correlating. We're going to go over all of those energies a little bit later. Here are some of the items that I collected in nature to put in my gratitude bag. We have some malachite and just some little different items that are going to really enhance the energy. I gave gratitude and thanks when I collected them from the forest. Some little flowers, some moss. So we're going to stick all of that in our jar and then keep adding to it every Sunday. So now I'm going to go over the energy cards, and I'm going to read a little thing that I wrote this morning. I don't even really remember what I wrote because I was in that delta state. And so we're going to just go over that, and then I'll show you the rest. Oh, I forgot to show some of the other items I collected in the forest. So here is my medicine bag, and these are some more things I'm going to add into my gratitude jar. We have some rainbow fluorite that I connect to the sun, and there's some more of the sap that I found. And I made this piece of organite that has clear quartz crystal, some bees in it. I think I did it in a 369 pattern, and some amber and adventurine. So this one is highly energetically charged and black tourmaline in there. So I'm going to add that to my gratitude jar. And then I made this cute little charm that has some of my organite metals in it with the monatomic gold. Oh yeah, I broke my nail in the forest. Sorry. And then here is, later on in the vlog, I couldn't remember the name. I'm probably going to attach that to my jar too, my little sun. Where's my jar? This side. And let's see, this is Chrysicola. I couldn't remember the name, but it forms on a lot of the rocks that have some quartz in it. On a certain side, it doesn't grow on the other side. It's more on the east side of the mountain. And then this little piece I took, I offered a lot of it to the burnt trees that you'll see a little bit later. Here's another piece of Chrysicola growing on the stone. So highly, highly energetically charged. Love this piece. So here's another piece that I found that was shaped just like a pyramid. I didn't form it that way. It was formed as a pyramid. And so, yeah, I just wanted to show you that real quick. And now I will go. So here we are at my Pinterest, and I'm going to show you the little clip that I did with my vlogging first, and then we'll get into those energy cards. I am so sorry that this is just so jumbled up, but I'm working on it. Here we go. Hopefully it's not too loud. Okay, so it looks like the wind is never going to die down. So what I'm going to do is just show you the items that I'm using to make my gratitude jar and bracelets and things. And then I will, when I go home, I'll show you the finished product and go over the energy cards. So this is what I'm working on here. Oh no. Oh my goodness, I have sap on my hands because I collected all of this amber here. And this is a big part of my gratitude jar. Also pearls. I feel like they have kind of a similar energy. One's more connected to earth and the sun, and the pearls are connected to water, of course. But they kind of have the same healing property. These are the bracelets that I make for Sunday. So this is one of the trees I wanted to show that I collected some of the sap from. And I just wanted to show how beautiful this is. All of this fern growth and regrowth after the fire. I just thought that was so beautiful. And here's some of the view, the clouds. That greenery just makes me so happy, and these trees are happy. I tapped into them. That was for my birthday cake. The birds were singing to me on my birthday. They do that every morning when the sun's going down and when the sun's coming up. They just sing and sing. I love it so much. So I just showed you the little clips because the wind got so bad and then I couldn't see my screen. So I didn't even know what I was showing you guys. So that's why I wanted to come back home and just make my phone stationary. So that's the big reason why everything's going to be chopped up. And I'm trying really hard to not make it to where I put them together in my editing. Like one part I'm talking about later, I'm going to show you. Yeah, it's going to be like that. I'm so sorry, but I'm trying to get used to vlogging mixed with all of this, and I really want to get into blogging. And then you'll see at the end of this next clip that I'm going to show you with the cards how I added my daughter at the end because I wanted to start a new video, a new YouTube talking about more geared towards sensory, more geared towards occupational therapy, which is my career. And so I wanted to create books for different generations that are all about energy integration. And so I wanted to create different books that are for like pediatrics, geriatrics. And so I worked with all of these different realms as an occupational therapy assistant. And so I wanted to create these sensory books. And then I also now I have a child that has sensory processing disorder, SPD. And so I thought it would be perfect to kind of vlog and show the different things now that it's summertime, the different things that I can work on to integrate sensory integration with children with autism or SPD or any kind of disorder, or I really hate calling it disorder. That's just what the professionals call it. because it's not a disorder. It's what the star seeds came in with extra sensory, which is not a disorder at all. We just don't know how to work with it and deal with it because we're not geared for the higher energies of the earth. And so I really wanted to talk to parents about, why the whole Dolores Cannon theory. And if you haven't heard of Dolores Cannon, I am going to do a whole video about healers and quantum healing hypnosis, which is QHHT, which is Dolores Cannon. I don't even think I went over that yet. That described way back about the energies that are happening, the enhanced frequencies and energies that are happening right now. She spoke of the starseed children that are coming in, and that they're going to be misdiagnosed with ADHD, autism, and all these different so-called disorders when they're not. We just don't understand their abilities. And so that I'm going to start a whole channel around that and have my daughter in there, and it's going to be called Sensory Starseeds. And so I'm going to go over, different things that I work with in occupational therapy with these highly sensitive kids that are heightened to extra sensory abilities. And so that you'll see the little clip at the end here after I go over my little cards. So we're going to talk about the Sunday sun energies, and let's see, we have Sunday sun. So some of the correlations are gold, yang, stimulate, light, ego, expand, outgoing, uplifting. And then the crown chakra would be the chakra that we are tapping into for the day. And I was going to talk about this too earlier, that I don't go through this every single day. I'm not like so tapped into my energies. Like some days I need to just chill out, and all these things are going on. So I don't sit here and I need to get into the habit of doing these things every day. But that's why I created this book, really was to kind of get into a sort of a groove. And, I'll go a couple of days where I don't even look at the book. And then, so the videos going forward, now that we're on Sunday, I'm going to talk about my 2 weeks. Oh, I have a little message for my Pinterest. And so anyway, we're going to talk about like 2, 4, 6, 8 weeks is when I kind of check in. And oddly enough, that kind of correlates with the within the cycles of the moon. And so also with occupational therapy, we go into progress notes and around like those times. So I kind of want to gear my books towards checking in with your goals and those sort of things around 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and 8 weeks. And then I also have a little method that I do for 3, 6, 9, 12. And so that's a whole year of months that I get into to kind of tap in with or check in with yourself and your goals and your scripting and all of that. So it might seem like a whole bunch of jumbled up stuff, but once you get into the groove of it, it's not like something you have to feel guilty about if you don't do it every single day. Like with the exercises and things, when you're ready, when you feel like you need to tap in, then you pull out the book and pull out the exercises, pull out the jar recipes that I have in here. It's just something that you can do to get tapped in when you want. Shouldn't be something that's stressful. Just going with the flow of the universe and the energies. So here, the crown chakra, when you're tapping the crown chakra, I like to, and you could always come up with your own colors and crystals and words and frequencies, but these are the ones that I like to tap into. And also, I did want to talk about, I'll talk about it a little bit later, but what colors mean to me and how I was not good in school, and how colors really helped me with like index cards and things, because I am a different sort of person. I'm a visual person. And so, we all learn in different ways. We all connect in different ways. And so colors are a big thing for me. And so I'll talk about that a little bit later. So let's go through spiritual, divine wisdom, guided awareness, worthy, and gratitude are things I focus on with my sun energy. Fire and ether are some of the things that I use for the elements. So I look towards the east, northeast, east, north. So I lost my voice here, so I'm going to try and do a voiceover. Not my actual voice, but I don't know what happened to the recording. So I was talking about east, and so some words that correlate are excitement, inspire, heightened, enlightenment, serenity, frequency, and attuned. The crystals that I use are clear quartz, rainbow fluorite, diamond, geode, sunstone, pyrite, amber, and tiger's eye. And then I think I got to remember what I was saying here, but I think I'm going to go to the back of the card next and go over the plants. I'm going to just go ahead and start reading it. So plants I like to use are ginger, juniper, lavender, frankincense, passion flower, morning glory, sandalwood, and orchid. There's a few more that I like to use. That's just some of them. I like chamomile. You would think that would correlate with the watery energies, but it connects more with the sun. Let's see, for sound the note is B, Ang, Om, 963 Hertz, 216 Hertz, 432 Hertz, 864 Hertz, and 480 Hertz. And the exercises that I like to use, I have some pages in my Pinterest that show some really good exercises that I use correlating to the energies of the day. And so Qigong, stretching, or rest, of course, because Sunday is the day of rest. And then I just wrote at the bottom here I was going to add some water or tea recipes, but on videos that I'm going to do later, I'm going to go over different jar recipes and tea recipes and DIYs. And then for the affirmations, I affirm, I expand, I am grateful, and I am. So you can fill in your own affirmation on the card. When I get these set up for my Etsy, I'm going to make them look really nice and have them up in my Etsy store pretty soon. And then, let's see, where am I going to go next? I think I was going to show you in my boards in my Pinterest the different jar free printables that you can find. And I don't even know what I was talking about here, so we got to wait till I flip over to... Nope, I was going to go into the energy cards next. So I'll show you the front. We have the dodecahedron and the symbol for the crown chakra, symbol for fire, ether, and then the back of my energy cards basically say the same as the larger cards. I use the smaller cards because I like to stick them on my water jars or use them in my crystal grids. I just take the energy from them. So the back of the card shows where you can write your own affirmation, and then the all of the correlations that I just went over are on the back. And then the smaller cards are coming up next. So this is a somatic pattern that I drew of, I think it was the 963 Hertz, of how the water freezes with that frequency, makes that pattern. And then, yeah, we just have the sun there, and the crown chakra, I drew a picture of a lotus, because that is a symbol for the crown chakra. And then there's the back are the symbols, the dodecahedron for ether and the tetrahedron for fire. And then I combine those two together in order to make my symbol for right there. The symbol has both shapes in it. And this is my tree that I was talking about when I was showing you my grid that I did for the burnt tree. I drew a picture of my magic tree. I used to pretend I was the princess of nature when I was younger, and so this is what my magic tree looked like. And the two vines growing up the side are showing you, one time there was one of my little bird friends died, and I buried the bird and made like a little crystal grid thing around the bird. And the next day I went out to my magic tree, and these magic vines grew all up the side of the tree, and on each side of where I buried the bird there were these vines growing straight up, nothing to even grab onto. And I had quite the imagination when I was younger and kind of lived in my own world. But when I talked to my brother, he actually confirms a lot of stuff that I wasn't sure if I made it up or not. But I used to dream every night that my magic tree had these beautiful plants growing, and I'd go the next day. It happened all of the time, and the plants would be there bloomed just like I was dreaming, and then they would just materialize the next day. It was a very magical little spot that I had there. And there was a little beehive. I had little ladybugs that lived there, and there was a fox that used to follow me around. That's one of the things I thought that I made that up, that it was an imaginary fox, but it was not, because my brother recently was talking about, do you remember that fox that used to follow you around in New York? And I was like, oh my gosh, that was real? He's like, yeah, it was the baby fox. So there's my magic tree, and I was showing you that because I was talking earlier about your thoughts and how your thoughts create things. And I was really powerful at it when I was a child, and then as you get older, you kind of forget your magic powers. So we got to get back to our child self again in order to find that magic. And then now we're going to go to, wow, I must have been rambling a while here. I don't even know all what I was saying. But so next I'm going to show you the free printables in my Pinterest. And I go through a couple of different jar manifestation, law of attraction techniques that people use for the techniques I really love are like feng shui. Does a lot of money jars and different law of attraction. I think I was saying earlier how I use jars in almost all of my law of attraction work, and it's just because it's something that's tangible. It's easier to program your subconscious mind using just affirmations. So I'll make a jar for oh, here we go. I did a DIY jar, and this is what I'm going to do on my next video, is go through how I use the full moon, the sun, and the new moon. And then I do different things in my jars for those different times. And I also do one that has the moon, the sun, and the earth. And so the earth is more of like a prosperity jar or a money jar. And then I do different sorts of things that I put into that jar at certain times. So like if there's a full moon, I'll do like a release, kind of I don't even like to call it a ritual, but I guess maybe it is a practice. I like to call it a practice or ceremony even. And here's a picture of some jars that I drew. and I'm going to put different recipes on there because I have a lot of jar recipes saved in my Pinterest. So on the next videos, I'm going to do DIYs. And I will go back in and replay this little clip with Dahlia because you got to hear her little spiel that she did. And this gave me an idea. I've been wanting to start a channel for pediatrics, and so I'm going to call it Sensory Starseeds, and then in that YouTube channel I'm going to show, as an occupational therapy assistant, we do a lot of sensory activities, and so I'm going to go through and do a whole bunch of activities with Dahlia for the little kiddos. And so I'm going to stop it here, and then I'll let you hear her little thumbs up. She's so silly. Sorry about that. I just realized I repeated myself there with the channel. So this is where I go into my Law of Attraction board, and I'm just going to show you in my Pinterest different things that I have saved for manifestation and Law of Attraction. And this is a dream jar, and so I saved a bunch of different clips and articles that other people have made. So if you wanted to go in, I'll put my link tree in the description so you could find my Pinterest if you wanted to look through any of these. There's some really good stuff in here. And here's one that is a money jar, and you don't always have to use a jar. You can use a bowl. Sometimes I'll put a crystal grid on top of the bowl for added energy. And down here, I'm going to show you the free printables that I was talking about. I have some really cute ones for the jar. See, this one says I'm grateful and I'm thankful for. You can just print those out and then write your message on there if you don't want to cut out your own little patterns. And then this one is a gratitude jar. That one has free printables. And let's see. This one is a manifest any goal in 6 minutes a day. So that's another way of using the jar. And here are some printouts for manifestation toolkit. I think that one has like scripting pages on it. Okay, and next I'm going to read my affirmation for Sunday, and I'm showing here some of my Organite, my 369 Abundant Organite, and I'll leave that in my link tree. After all of that rambling, I forgot to read my affirmation and what I wrote. So let me give you something to look at. I promise I'm not going to ramble this time. I'm just going to read. My least favorite thing to do. And we're going to show you, let's see, we created, I'll show you this while I'm reading. I don't think there's sound to it. Let me turn the sound down. And then I hope you can still hear me. We'll test it out. So for the Sunday Crown Chakra day, I wrote for my affirmation, I live in harmony. My affirmations are my reality. You can hear the birds in the background. It's my birdie time of the day. I am aligned with the universe and attract high frequency positive energies into my life. I am attuned and connected to the essence and frequencies of the elements. My chakras flow with high vibrational energies and function at optimal ability. The sun sends me nourishment and beautiful rainbow specks of light that uplift and enlighten my body, mind, and soul. I absorb the upgrades and knowledge at a cellular level sent to me from the sun's frequency. I receive and understand the fractals of light, spectrums, and sacred geometry patterns that are sent to my essence from the ether and the sun rays. I am connected to the ether and receive downloads that assist me in expanding my consciousness. I send out my high vibrational frequencies through the ether to assist in raising the vibration and collective consciousness. I am filled with gratitude for all of my blessings and connection to the divine. I absorb source light through my body, then send the frequency to the earth below my feet. I visualize my inner child laying in a field of sunflowers, absorbing the blissful energies from the sun. As I lay on the ground, my imagination runs wild and free, filled with adventure and excitement. Like I said earlier, I don't even remember writing this. I was just in a flow state because I was drawing and doing artwork, and that's when I get into these flow states where I don't even know what I'm writing. And so this morning, I wrote this down, and I don't really remember what I wrote. So let's see, it's with a Sharpie as well. So I can't read it that well, but I'm going to try. Let's see, let me give you something else to look at here. Oh, maybe this one will last long. Okay. Everything that I have been and will be showing you is just a tool. You can use anything like a penny, a magic pen, a feather, etc. as a law of attraction tool, because the magic comes from our intent. I am a very, very visual person. So using tools such as jars, grids, crystals, colors, and medicine bags is something tangible in my material world. So they help me to program my brain with the affirmations, blessings, and intentions that I pass into physical items, because our thoughts create and program our physical world. This is why scripting and writing things that you are rewiring your brain to subconsciously be programmed to things like keeping a positive self-image, because your cells in the body are listening to your program, just like the water molecules in Dr. Emoto's water experiment. I went over that earlier in an earlier video, and I'll post that at the bottom if you didn't see it. So all of my magical law of attraction workings are geared towards around this concept of frequency, energy, and vibration. This is why I wanted to talk about the Hindu practice of Tantra. This is of being in the moment, noticing where your attention is, and appreciating the elements around us, like a gentle breeze, or how beautiful flower feels, smells, the textures and colors, every little detail of the flower or breeze. Recognize it, magnify it, because our bodies are like energetic magnets. So let's attract the beautiful things to us instead of always worrying and stressing about what could happen or what could go wrong. Our mind and our thoughts are so powerful. And then I put little talking points here. I had all these racing thoughts of how this has been a reality throughout my life. And so I didn't want to sit there and jot it all down and read it, because that's just so impersonal to me when people just read. So it's probably why my videos feel kind of awkward. But here I go. I said I needed to talk about when I was paralyzed. When I was 15, I was in a rollover car accident. I'm not sure if you saw my previous videos, but I talked a little bit about that. And I was an incomplete quadriplegic. I could only raise my right forearm, like just a tiny, tiny bit. Couldn't sit up. I could move my head, but I wasn't supposed to, because I had metal put in there and was in traction and had a neck brace and all that. And so the thoughts that went through my head when I was in therapy for 3 months were never, there were like brief little moments where I thought, okay, my hand is never going to open after watching a movie, I remember specific moments where I was super sad, but usually my mind was set on, I would study how people would walk and lift their legs and all of the movements that they were doing. And I just knew that I was going to walk again. I just never even thought, the thoughts barely crossed my mind of me being in a wheelchair the rest of my life. I just knew it. I knew I was going to walk, and I feel like that is a huge reason why my nerves rewired. And because I told my body, this is not how you're supposed to work. I didn't accept it. And then coming after that, everybody, when I started walking again, was like, you are, you've been through all of this. You must be so grateful and thankful to God and all of this stuff. And God is on your side. And it made me angry, and people were saying these things. And I know that sounds so crazy and weird, but as a 15-year-old, I had a lot of friends that I made in the hospital, and they didn't walk again. They didn't move again. I was kind of angry. I was angry that why me? Why did they not get to, and I did? And so, why would God do that to other people? And even before that, I had these thoughts of, why would God let children starve? And this is way before I understood the Dolores canon teachings. The QHHT really helped me understand the universe and how it works and how we set these plans in our life to go through these trials to learn, because this isn't who we are. It's a part of building and growing and learning, and we chose all of these things, so it's not like somebody's trying to punish us. And it's all about how we can train our mind and our thoughts to tap into a certain frequency, and that's what we're going to create. We are creators. So after, when I was 18, I had a settlement from the accident to help me with medical things and help my mom pay the bills, because it was hundreds of thousands and thousands of dollars, and the road had all of these obstacles, and the city didn't fix it. There were previous accidents there and all of these other sorts of things that happened. And so I had a large settlement, and when I received the money, I was not in the mindset of acceptance. I looked at it as, it was like, to me, it was stressful to have money for me, because all of these people were telling me, you got to invest it here, invest it there, and then 9/11 happened, and everything that I invested was lost. And I bought a house. I furnished the whole home. I wanted for my boys to have, because I have 3 boys that are older, I wanted them to have college, everything paid for, and that was why I invested the money and everything. So there was a lot of stress towards the money. And when I furnished my home, I had this deep feeling of, I'm going to lose this. It's going to be gone, and I'm not going to be able to replace it. All of these stressful thoughts with money. And I believe that's a huge reason why I lost it with this whole market crash, because of my mindset with the money. And also, not being in gratitude, I was more stressed about it. And then I also wanted to talk about, let's see. Oh, I already talked about the other things. So yeah, when I was rambling earlier. And so it's so funny to me. I'm laughing because I'm such a shy person. I don't like to talk a lot. And here I am rambling on. I don't even know how long this video is. So anyways, that's all I have to say for today. And I will hopefully talk to you later. Okay, I had to stop it because the wind got too intense. I'm going to have to really learn how to do this editing stuff because of this video. But so here's the sunstone. bracelet and the sun card. And then I was saying on the back, you can put words to charge your jar with that energy of the words, because words are very powerful. You can put things like gratitude, love, harmony, or whatever you're grateful for. Put that on the jar. That's going to really charge it up, along with all of the things you're going to put in the jar. And every Sunday, I like to add to my gratitude jar. I'm going to go into depth with it a lot more when I get home, when you can hear me, but I really wanted to talk about like the Tantra energy, not the Tantra you're thinking, but Tantra like being in the moment and appreciating everything around you, and really zooming in and honing in on those energies, and appreciating them, having gratitude for them, and being in the I am presence also I wanted to talk about. And I'm also going to go over a little bit about how I learned to be in gratitude, because I wasn't always in that state of mind. As a clairsentient empath, it's very hard to learn that, and so anybody that's any kind of empath, it's really sad to me that we're not taught these things and how to navigate as an empath. And so that's really what my channel is about, is recognizing and understanding empathic energies and how to use it for as an advantage, as your superpower, your magic power, and not diving down into the depth of pain. As feeling all of the energies around you, it's very easy to fall into that. And as you see, like a lot of people around you that are homeless or addicted to things are empaths. They're very powerful beings, and they just went down the wrong road. And so it's very, very passionate about this. And so I'm going to continue to teach as much as I can, and just kind of share what I've been through. Not to say that I'm the be-all, know-all, because I'm still trying to learn, but dang it, I wish I knew about it earlier in my life. I wish I knew what I was. We all have empathy as human beings, but some of us, have we can tap into different energies a lot easier, and I do believe that has a lot to do with the zodiac sign that we came in with, the what we wanted to learn and enhance in this lifetime. That's what energies we're tapping into. So we got to learn how to balance it and harmonize it. And that's, to me, what Earth is about: healing, harmony, balance. And so I want to just keep sharing. And so, what else? We have citrine, we have sunstone to connect to the sun. One of my favorite crystals, clear quartz crystal, and of course sandalwood. And we'll get into that a little bit more when we go through the energy cards of the correlations and what connects. And let's see, the wind's actually doing pretty good right now. Let me see if I can show you the jar. Some of the things that I found are, here are some of the things that I have found here in the forest that we're going to put in our jar. This one is too big, and I'm probably going to create something out of it because it's so beautiful. And when I get back, I'm going to go over all of the things. Yeah, I keep them in my boot so they don't blow away. And also I did a little crystal grid here with the crocheted flower of life that my mom created for me. And then these crystals here are organite. Excuse my dirty hands. I've been digging in the dirt and stuff. And I always bring my charging clear quartz crystal to ground it, and then to attune my crystal grid at home. It's really hard to bring all your crystals with you if you're a crystal person. So I bring some of my main pieces that can charge all of the others with the frequency of the earth. So I put it in the ground and let it really absorb those energies, and then put good intentions and things in the crystal. And then we have here, I'm working on some the sun energy crystal beads bracelets like this one that I have here on my wrist. Has some citrine and cory shells, and I make a little bee pattern out of them. These are not up on my Etsy yet. I'm going to create more that, like I said in my last video, that have like brass, copper, and silver. I have some silver beads here for more watery energy, some labradorite, and then I made these orgonite pieces with sand from Tahoe, and I'm going to make some bracelets, necklaces and pendants with these, and then we have obsidian, black tourmaline, and Larimar, one of my favorite crystals. I think I'm going to combine some Larimar with some of the lepidolite that are both very calming energies. I think that's going to be a beautiful energy mixture. But the lepidolite has some calming energy. That's why I mix it in with the sun. Sometimes you can get overly charged with the clear quartz crystal. Sometimes it's too much, you get a lot of downloads and racing thoughts. Sometimes with just a clear quartz that's very powerful. So I like to mix the two together. Lepidolite has lithium in it, and so that one is has some calming properties to it that you absorb just by holding it. And you got to be kind of careful with clear quartz because it could create anxiety if you have too much of that energy flowing through. So I like to combine them sometimes with like a Larimar that's more calming, and then I do correlate like a light purple. I know a deeper purple I correlate more with moon water energies, but the lighter purples I correlate with the sunset, and that time when the sun is setting, you get those purpley, beautiful light purple colors a lot of times. And then, well, this is a crystal that I found here that has some, let me think of the word, shoot, I said it earlier, I just forgot the word. Well, I'll talk about that crystal later, but that's going to go into our gratitude jar. And then we have some orgonite that I made, that'll be the charging plate. So it has clear quartz crystal, 24 karat gold, some brass, some sand from the Florida Siesta Keys. And I made these little tiny orgonite crystal pendants for a crystal grid. And I'm not sure, when I tapped into the energy, I really felt like it needed a little bit more of the metals in it. So it had more of a current, more of a flow. To activate the piezoelectricity activities of the crystal. So I put some crystals, and I still have to file them down too. So it's kind of like a prototype. This one has some rainbow fluorite, I believe, in it. And clear quartz I usually put in all of my orgonite for the piezoelectricity. And then here are some of the tags. I'll go over these later when I'm not in the wind. And this is the crown chakra symbol, and we have some of the sun. We'll just briefly look at these. The dodecahedron for the ether, and then I have the 963 hertz and the pattern of the somatics of the 963 hertz frequency. And then I bring all of this stuff along with me. So I wrote earlier my little gratitude message here, and then I used my tape to tape it up, and that's going to go inside of the jar, and I'll show you a finished picture when we're done here with everything in it. I already have some lavender and jasmine, and then I'll put all of the items that I collected here from the forest and my amber in later. And so this is just a sample that you could use an index card. This one says, I am grateful. I'm in the grateful zone. I'm going to go over that later too, what the grateful zone is, and the I am presence, and what you're thankful for. And I love this little cutter. This is my favorite, one of my favorite tools. So I just cut things up with this and measure it. Or you could also add on your jar a little envelope along with your tag that you hang, and I'll show this at the end as well. And if you want to put little messages and notes to add some more energy into your gratitude jar. And, oh, looks like Dahlia just collected some more nature for me. Cool. And you could also use some fancy paper. There's her rings. Some fancy paper like these that I've collected to cut those up and put messages on the back. It looks really pretty once you roll those up. You could tie it up with some twine like this. And every Sunday add another gratitude message like this fancy little bee paper. So we'll go over that when I'm out of the wind as well. And so yeah, that's it for now.
And like that, like channel.
Try again.
Comfrey.
Try again.
Share at Comfrey.
Dahlia.
Subscribe, share,
And hit
the like button and
Where did your thumb go? .com. Where'd your thumb go? And hit that like button.
And hit that like
Let me see your thumb.
And hit that and smack that like button.
Or you could just smack. So I had a few obstacles and had to do a few voiceovers in this video, but I wanted to show you how cute this looks. And I'm working on my background and my videography. And so it's gonna get better. And so I hope you stick with me. Okay, bye-bye.